Am I longing for the past? Nah, not anymore. I mean, I think most of my life I was a very nostalgic person, especially in high school. In high school, I was obsessed with the mid 80s. From when I was, when I, in the mid 80s, in 1983, for example, I was two. I was obsessed with anything 1983. So much great things about American culture happened in 83. And even 84, 85, great years. And as we can see, Stranger Things knows that. They start the show in 83, and now 84, and then the next season I guess will be 85. They know this. I always knew this. And I think though that was really to point out though the fact that I was so obsessed with the early 80s in high school, and then as I became an adult, I started getting obsessed with even just being in high school, man, I missed high school. High school was great, I didn't have any real responsibilities, but I think now though I'm past that. I'm definitely in my mid 30s. I'll be 37 in a couple months, married, 2 kids, mortgage, all those things. And I'm no longer fascinated by those easier times. It's not a now I'm at the point in my life where I'm just moving forward. I'm like, how do I grace myself to the future in a way that is going to be good for me? I want to be ready for the future when it gets here. So that's why now I'm just like, okay, how can I outsmart this middle class society system? How can I pay off my mortgage sooner? How can I make money on the side without having to rely on an office, working for someone? How can I get ahead? These are things that I'm focused on now. I just don't have time to remember when. Oh man, I miss being in college. I miss being in high school. I miss being a kid. All of those things are a very important part of my identity. I had a great childhood. I had great high school and college years, and I have a great family. But to linger back on what was, it's just not who I am anymore. Now, as an adult, I'm thinking I still have my family. We still have those memories, and we can talk about them, and I can feel good talking about them. But there's no longer that yearning to return. There's no longer that subconscious hope that if I just maybe I can get in a time machine and go back and relive that time. I don't know, maybe at some point in your life you reach that, and I'm definitely now aware of that. It's funny because John Mayer has a song called 83, which is another, and I was obsessed with 1983 all throughout high school, and that song didn't come out to the early 2000s. And he has this song talking about, how he had it made in 1983. And of course, he wrote that song when he was in his 20s. But I think perhaps there's something about getting to a certain place in life where you realize I'm not yearning for that anymore. I appreciate it, but I don't miss it to the point that I really want to return. I think most of my life I wanted to return to the past, back when I had less responsibilities. And it's funny because now I'm in mid 30s, I've figured out a lot about life, and I kind of understand enough to get by, and I know what's going on. I feel that I've reached a healthy confidence level, and now I can kind of wing this until for the rest of my life, for part 2 of my life. At age 30, almost 37, double that. I've pretty much lived half of my life by now, and so I'm just looking forward to enjoying the ride for the rest of it and not missing my past. One of my favorite, by default, one of my favorite bands was called The Format. And the lead singer went on, Nate Roos, I guess he's a successful solo guy now. He was with a band called Fun. But originally he started out with The Format. And in this one song he says something like, saying to his old classmates, he said, go ahead and just drop your pens. Don't even bother writing me. I've moved on with my life. Now, I don't agree with that. I mean, I love being able to communicate with my classmates, and I'm one of those people who faithfully goes to my class reunions. I love going to them. I love catching up with people. But as far as to the degree that I just want to relive the past, that part of me is gone. It used to be a big part of my identity. It used to be such a big part of my identity. In fact, when I was in high school, our senior year, they have like a little senior year paper or whatever for graduation night. and they have like a class prophecy. And the class prophecy for Nick Shell was that I would just stay in Fort Payne, Alabama, where I was born and raised, and I would still be talking about the 80s. That's how much a part of it was of my identity in high school, that I wanted to relive the past. That was my prophecy, that they wrote about me, that my classmates wrote about me. And it's funny, and it was accurate at the time. And now, no. I mean, I love returning to my hometown. I love seeing the people. I love going to class reunions. But ultimately, I've moved on with my life, and I'm not secretly wishing that I could go back in time and do things different or simply to relive them. I feel that I'm living my life now. I feel it took this many years of my life to get to a point where I finally got it figured out enough to be in that situation. And I'm grateful for that. And knowing that I feel that way makes me not wish for days of lesser responsibility. I am in the crux of responsibilities right now, right? Married, 2 kids, mortgage, stay-at-home dad, trying to figure out how exactly I'm going to be paying the bills, which is why I keep saying, will you please subscribe, because I got to have 1,000 subscribers. Otherwise, YouTube cuts me off and they won't let me make money off of this channel anymore. YouTubers make money unless they have, but YouTube changed rules. They say you got to have 1,000 subscribers now. We changed the rules. So they're about to pull that rug from out of me unless I get 1,000 subscribers by February 20th. Those are things I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my future. I'm not thinking about my past. I can appreciate my past, but it's not part of my identity to yearn for it. My past is part of my identity, but yearning for the past no longer is. I'm moving on with my life. I'm moving forward with my life. And I'm being optimistic about my future.